there's a Daily Caller report today that says the NFL will ban racist fans if they are identified. This comes after an exchange where Washington Redskins wide receiver Terrell Pryor said he was called the N-word by a fan as he was heading to the locker room. And then he was caught on camera saying F you to that fan and everyone around him. I don't condone any racist language ever. I mean, I don't think it solves anything. But the NFL has been definitely race baiting here, along with the media and the left. There's no question about this. They're literally doing everything they can to get something going on here, and I'm not surprised that people are reacting in such a way. Now, racism in the U.S. is such a one-sided discussion. We'll get into this later in one of these podcasts, but I mean, they're white people's like trash group, bad group is kind of like rednecks, something like that. But for black people, I mean, you can make the case that the N word is definitely a bad group of black people, a very small subsection who do things that would warrant that name. I know people are going to hate that I said that, but that's the truth. Um, you say the N word like that's the end of you. I don't care what you do. Like public execution is probably going to happen next. But meanwhile, you call whites honkies, you say something about Chinese, Latinos, whatever. It's like, you know, as long as if it's a white guy doing it, you're automatically guilty. Doesn't matter what. But if it's any other race doing it towards whites, not a problem. And that's a double standard that I don't agree with. Because if you're against racism, you need to be against it in all forms. And when it's clearly such a one-sided conversation as it has been lately, then it's not that case. We're seeing a lot of accusations from stuff like this from the crowd, and the media always takes the side of the athlete. It doesn't matter what. Like we don't know what happened or what was really said, but the media will 99.9% of the time take the side of the athlete, and I don't think that's exactly fair because we really don't know what's said. We don't know if Terrell Pryor's telling the truth, and we do know that racial relations have been stirred up lately in the NFL. What really bothers me is that if we're going to start banning people from things because we didn't like things they had to say, there's going to be a lot of people getting banned. And I can almost assure you it's going to be 100% Trump supporters. And that's going to be a problem because, we're getting into, we don't want these type of people coming to our places. And that sounds an awful lot like segregation during the civil rights era to me. And that could be a problem. I mean, I think Trump supporters have been through a lot this year. You get banned from pretty much every website for expressing your views. If you go on places like Reddit and social media, everyone calls you a Nazi, no questions asked. And, groups are outright calling for the death of whites, and places, Democratic groups and stuff don't have a problem with it. So we got some problems that need to be taken care of. And once again, the NFL needs to just stay out of this stuff. They've stirred up enough racial trouble, and it's only going to get worse. And I don't know what the end goal is here, but it seems like it's an extension of the media's goal, which seems to be to start a new civil war, and we may be looking at that if this keeps up. We'll see what happens. I mean, we'll probably never get the full truth on this, and who knows? He might have said something, and if he said the N-word, he shouldn't have, but Terrell Pryor also shouldn't be pointing his helmet at people and telling them to F off either, because those are our NFL customers. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll report back with more.